Good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show video live stream for Thursday, the 29th of May. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me, my special guest, co-host this morning, Bret Witkowski.
Good morning.
Hey, get on camera. Here, hang on a second.
Move the camera. I'm in the same spot.
I got to zoom out.
You get my big head off.
Got to zoom out to get your big head in there. Good morning, and thanks for joining us. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got a lot to talk about this hour. We've been talking about St. Joseph parking again because the St. Joseph City Commission had their first public meeting since the paid parking schedule went into effect in downtown St. Joe. And I think it's safe to say the City Commission is feeling the comments. They are feeling the sentiment that has been out there. We've seen it here. We've had it here on the radio, on the video live streams. We've seen it on social media for sure. And now the business owners are saying it hurt. It hurt a lot. And one of the things they have said that they're already going to change, the City Commission looked at starting last night, was when to start paid parking. And why they started it May 15th, I'm not sure. But a lot of people were very adamant that, well, if this is for the tourists, if this is to keep the tourists moving, why wouldn't you start it in tourist season, which is after Memorial Day?
Sure.
So they're looking at that. They're also looking at adjusting some of the time increments. I was surprised that they, and I'd have to look at the whole transcript of last night's meeting. Andrew Green covered it for us. But I'm surprised they haven't adjusted the hours inward yet. Because it's from 9 a.m., that's fine. Do the 9 a.m. if you want to. But to 9 p.m., I want to see how that plays out.
Well, I'm telling you, at 5:30 p.m., there was nobody. So
tell us again, when were you there? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, I drove through between 5 and 5:30. I was talking to one of my daughters and was just kind of driving around a little bit. And so I went down Lake Boulevard, and from the Whitcomb Hotel around the turn by the band shell.
Lake Boulevard, yeah.
Lake Boulevard, all the way to the stairs.
Okay. So about midway through.
One car.
Really?
One.
From Whitcomb to the stairs. Was it raining?
It was like what you see now. I can't remember if it was raining or not, but it wasn't like sunny, let's go out and have fun weather. But
yeah,
I saw one car.
Do you think the weather is having an impact on some of this? I think
it has some impact. I also think people are creatures of habits, and when you can go to Myers and Walmart and other places and you don't pay to park.
Yeah.
And the restaurants, I think, are probably hurting, I would guess, the worst.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Hold that thought. We'll be back with more in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:05, it's the WSJM Morning Show for Thursday, May 29th. Thursday being one of the best days of the week. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me this morning. My special guest co-host is Bret Witkowski. It's 53 degrees and cloudy out in Benton Harbor right now, 52 and cloudy in St. Joseph. South Haven is 51 degrees and cloudy. We're going to keep the clouds today with a chance of an isolated shower or two. Becoming partly cloudy this afternoon, high around 68 degrees, light winds out of the northwest. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a low around 50. Tomorrow, Friday, partly cloudy to start your weekend. 20% chance of showers, increasing as we go on through into the evening. The high tomorrow should be pretty decent, around 75 degrees. And then Saturday and Sunday, we now have a good forecast there. We're looking at 4 days in a row, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, of mostly sunny conditions.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be nice. We've got a high around 68 degrees on Saturday. That climbs to 76 on Sunday. That climbs to 83 on Monday. That climbs to 86 on Tuesday.
Cooler by the lake?
Cooler by the lake.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
And 87 degrees for a high predicted for Wednesday. But yeah, mostly sunny days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Great 4-day stretch. Tigers beat the San Francisco Giants yesterday 4-3. They have the day off today. They play again tomorrow in Kansas City. You can hear that game. That's going to be an evening game, about 8:10 p.m. for the first pitch. You can hear that tomorrow night right here on WSJM because we are your official Detroit Tigers baseball station. For those of you who are unfortunate Cubs fans, they beat the Rockies 2-1 yesterday.
Hey, now. Hey.
Well, you a Cubby?
Second best record in the National League.
Well, who has the best record in the Major League Baseball for wins? Who's the winningest team in Major League Baseball?
It is the Tigers by 1/100th of 1 point. 649 to 648 are the Phillies.
Okay, that's right. The Phillies are the number 2, and then way down the way somewhere are the Yankees, the stinking Yankees. Yeah, nobody likes the Yankees.
I'm gonna watch them play in September though.
Are you? Mm-hmm. Were you going to New York for that?
Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Even better.
Yeah.
Stay out of New York. It's tough.
But we'll be there eventually.
Okay. The Cubs beat the Rockies yesterday 2-1. They also have the day off. They'll play the Cincinnati Reds tomorrow at 2:20 p.m.
At home.
That's right. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we have more news to give you this morning from the WSJM newsroom. An alert yesterday from the Village of Cassopolis Police Department about a stolen squad car. The Cassopolis Police Department says officers were arresting a suspect at around 1 p.m. That's when things went wrong. Wednesday afternoon, the suspect managed to escape from the police that were trying to arrest him, flee the scene, and he fled the scene in a marked 2020 Ford Explorer police vehicle. Nearly 4 hours later, an alert was shared publicly, including the suspect's description and that he was armed and dangerous. So 1 o'clock?
4 hours.
4 hours later. So at 1 o'clock, they tried to arrest him, and he escaped with the police car.
Yeah.
It's one of those, the SUV cruisers.
They're all cruisers.
Clearly
now.
Marked.
Yeah.
Clearly marked. 4 hours later, we got a notice.
Was it break time?
I don't know. 4 hours later, we got a notice that the suspect was out there. He was in a police car. He was armed and dangerous. Police across the region were also put on alert. But by 6:20 p.m., the department put out an update that the vehicle had been located. So that was good news.
But not the person.
Not the person yet. 7:40 p.m. last night, police said the suspect was in custody and the firearms had been recovered. Police have not yet released any further detail, including the original arrest, why that happened, the suspect's name, where he was apprehended, how that all came down. So there's a lot to figure out there.
That might take over the parking story today.
I don't know.
That's going to be close. It's going to be close.
It's good. They both have the wheels involved.
Yes.
So yeah.
That one might get some national news.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. The other news that we're following this morning: the Van Buren Conservation District has been awarded a $100,000 grant from the state to hold tire recycling events throughout the coming year. The grant was one of more than $1.1 million in tire recycling grants announced yesterday by Eagle, the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy. Van Buren Conservation District Recycling Coordinator Callie Marshall tells us the group received the funds on behalf of not only Van Buren County, but also Berrien, Allegan, Branch, and Kalamazoo counties. And she says the program really does make a difference.
Annually, we, in Van Buren County alone, pull in about 15,000 tires.
That's a lot of tires.
It is.
Each county handles its own recycling events, and Marshall says plenty are coming up in Van Buren County, and they invite the public to get ready.
We just hosted our first event last week in the city of Hartford. Going forward, we're going to host our 3 Recycle Roundup events on Saturday, June 7th in Pawpaw, Saturday, August 2nd in South Haven, and Saturday, October 18th in Lawrence.
See, they're going to have one up in Lawrence, so that'll be convenient for you to take your spare tire up there.
If they would take our tires, I'd be very happy.
Plus, Marshall says the Van Buren Conservation District operates 10 year-round tire drop-off sites. They're listed on the district's website. The state says it supports tire recycling programs because improperly dumped scrap tires pose a fire hazard and create mosquito breeding grounds. I mean, you ever seen those tire fires? They just go on and on forever, and the smoke is just horrible.
Just dark black.
Yeah, the pollution. But also the mosquito breeding grounds. I had a neighbor one time, so I was renting a place, and the landlord, the owner of the property, had stacked up tires out back and hadn't told anybody. And my neighbor came over one time and said, you got tires stacked up out back. I said, oh, well, they're not mine. They're the landlord's, I guess. He says, well, they're collecting water and the mosquitoes are real fierce.
Mhm.
I said, okay, we'll get rid of them.
Yep, that is true.
Also, recycled scrap tires can be used in asphalt to pave roads. Do you use that? Is that your high dollar road? You don't like that?
They.
I bet that it makes it quieter.
There was
Spongy.
an experiment to use them. I think Kalamazoo did it last year.
Yeah.
They just can't find a really good need for these tires. It's a
Well,
lot
put
more
them in the roads.
It's a lot more expensive.
Grind them up and put them, well, because they're nice and quiet. And
No,
they probably
just a
look
lot more
pretty.
expensive
Hmm.
to make it into asphalt.
You can also use them as mulch in gardens. I don't know that I would do that. I don't know that I would use it as mulch in gardens. Why do you want
I don't like mulch.
tire disintegrating into your garden stuff? That just seems weird.
How long does it take to disintegrate? Like 100 years?
I don't know. I still have my tires on. I haven't changed them yet.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. You've been going a year on this now.
You can use them in playgrounds and in manufacturing. I don't know what you do with there, but there you go. One other story. The Van Buren, from Van Buren and Cass, the Van Buren Cass District Health Department is inviting all Van Buren County residents to fill out their new Community Health Needs Assessment Survey. The department says it's conducting a review to better understand the health strengths, challenges, and needs of Van Buren County residents. It's hoping the information gathered from the survey will help guide it for future health priorities, programming, and resource decisions. The new survey is now live online. We have a link at our website. That's at WSJM.com. It asks things like greatest concerns, availability of resources, how each respondent struggles with their current health challenges. Health officials say it's a valuable opportunity for residents to have their voices heard and help shape the future of public health in Van Buren County. They say it only takes 10 minutes. We have more information linked at our website, WSJM.com.
Sounds great.
Okay, we've got more. Hey, sports-wise, Dave Wolf has been out, and he's getting back into the swing of things. And until he does, we've been having Michigan News Network and ABC Sports. And from time to time, Bret Witkowski has been helping us out as well. So we appreciate that. Thank you,
You're
Bret,
welcome.
for doing that.
You've
got, speaking of sports, you've got some sports stuff coming up. The last coaches show,
correct,
is this weekend. Tell us about it.
Wrap up our 23rd season of Coaches Show.
23rd season.
Phil and I. It originated before Phil and I.
How many games or how many programs?
This will be 695.
600. This will be the 695th show.
Yep.
On Saturday.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been doing it a long time. So
can you do 5 more? Because I like round numbers.
We will next fall.
Oh, all right.
We'll start.
Okay.
So we'll wrap it up. We had the ADs on last week. We'll wrap it up with some more
ADs. That's short for athletic director.
Yes.
I know sports.
Wrap up their school year.
Okay.
And then wrap it up with some coaches, and then let the summer take care of itself. And then we'll be back the Saturday before the first football game to start football previews.
Excellent. Okay.
So we're off about, I think it's 10 weeks, 10 or 11, something like that.
Wow. You get that much time off?
Almost as much as the state, the Senate, and House.
Well, come on. Should they be full-time?
No.
Okay. All right. 7:14. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got more sports right now.
Sports on the Michigan News Network.
The Tigers hit the.
Yeah, I don't know. Has being a transplant from Washington State, has Michigan always had a full-time legislature?
In my lifetime, there's been pushes to get rid of it, which I think it could.
Yeah.
Most states have part-time. And
well, I think I know Washington State, at least when I was there and covered, they had the short sessions and they had the long sessions.
Right.
And I think the short session was either a 60 or 90 day, and then the long one was 120 days or something like that, or whatever it was. But they were very defined, and nothing drives action like a deadline.
Exactly.
And so, you would find inevitably the first 3 quarters of that time was a lot of horse trading, talking back and forth. And then it was always the last 15 days where everything got done. That was going to get done.
And I think Michigan, I think they did a study. Michigan's one of maybe 10 states that
still has a full-time. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Texas, I don't think does. I know Indiana doesn't. I don't know. I can't remember about Wisconsin. I think.
Yeah. Indiana's already done for the year, right?
Right.
And they've already sent whatever bills they're going to send to the governor and signed a bunch of them.
Yeah. They could cut back. They had a 3-week spring break already. And then they'll have a summer break.
Yeah.
Then they'll have Labor Day break. Then they'll have the hunting break. Then they have a Christmas break.
That's a lot of breaks. Well, and you think about it too. It prevents folks from who have maybe I guess it prevents folks who have a regular job that they need to be at every day from participating in the legislative process.
Oh, without a doubt.
And so then you probably could see the impact being you only get the wealthy who don't need that day-to-day job as representatives. It's tough, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's just the wealthy. You get people who are don't have anything else to do. Also,
come on.
I mean, you got to sacrifice. If you have a career going, are you going to stop in the middle of your career?
Right.
I mean, so what you find, I think, is you find a lot of young people in it, and a lot of older, but not much in the middle.
Yeah, the prime earning years.
Right.
Yeah.
Because are you really going to step away from your job? For 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is. I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, but you get all kinds of public appreciation for doing what you do.
Everybody's high-fiving you.
Everyone's high-fiving you on social media.
Commission meme last night, weren't they?
Were they?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think it was high. It might have been the one finger.
Those were not high
fives.
Wave. Let's see what else.
That was interesting how they said now it's the DDA who brought this about.
I thought that was really interesting. So what Bret's referring to is the comment from Commissioner Michael Sorolla that was reminding folks it was the DDA's idea to do the paid parking. Now, also, there are 6 candidates coming up for St. Joseph City Commission. Some of those are re-election campaigns. Michael Fernandez is running for re-election. Mike Sorolla running for re-election. So if you tie two things together there, that might be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to shift it to an organization that's just volunteers.
Oh, the DDA.
They're not getting paid to be on there.
Well, at the end of the day, whose decision was it to put it in place? It was the city commission.
Point. Yeah.
718 WSJ.
Like you're the news director. You have final say. I mean, right? I mean, serious. So I mean,
I don't have final say. I just report. What do you mean?
You have final say what goes on the air.
Oh, I suppose
you edit it and make it fit your hidden agenda. And
whatever.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Hidden agenda. All right, we have to get back on the air. It's
just your open agenda.
WSJM Morning Show.
High today. We dropped to 50 tonight, and we're talking 75 tomorrow. It'll be a mix of the sun and clouds with chances of rain late in the day. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Hidden agenda. Where did that come from?
That's just one play on words. To your credit and to SJM's credit, I've never picked up on having an agenda.
We get accused of it.
I know you do, and I hear it from people, and I'm like, okay, give me examples. Because when they say it, I'm like, well, they had the other side on too.
Yeah,
I mean, your job is just to let people make their own decisions.
We do. That is our role, and it sometimes happens, as happened recently. We don't always have the other side on in that same story because maybe they weren't available
exactly
at that time. But we will always report the news as it is, not with our slant on it. 7:20, it's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Bret Witkowski. And if you want more context of why we just talked about what we talked about, you're going to have to watch the video live stream because that's where we do it. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, and you can check that out anytime you wish because we also have not only the live video stream from 7 to 8 o'clock, but we also have the video archives. You can go back and watch, make fun of us.
I do.
Look at our shirts. You make fun of us?
No, I do watch it.
Oh, you do watch it? Good. I'm glad you do. Stuart watches it. One of my sons. The other two sons, sometimes. Although one of my sons reached out to me and said, hey, my friend is watching it. And I don't know, there was some compliment that I didn't understand the jargon. But it said something like fire or lit or something like that.
Well, I know what lit means.
Is that good?
Not
Which lit are you talking about?
Well, lit in my generation meant you were lit up.
Oh, like you were angry?
No, that you were on drugs.
Oh, no, I don't think he was referring to that.
Yeah, so I'm hoping not.
Yeah, no, I think he on fire. Yeah, and fuego.
Okay.
Anyway,
I can get
let's
that
talk
one.
about the more important things. You have a new dog.
We do.
What happened there?
You know, we lost the other one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She passed away January 1st of last year.
Okay.
I don't do good with death. I just don't.
No?
I just have a hard time.
It's one of life's certainties, by the way.
I know.
Okay.
I struggle with it.
Okay. Understandable.
And Amy's been wanting a dog. But I didn't want to go through the puppy stage again.
You just wanted the good part, not you want the comfy old dog.
Yeah, and I said, if we can find a rescue,
Oh, okay.
I'd be open to it. And I'm still not. I prefer not to have one.
You haven't bonded with the dog yet.
No,
I see.
the dog's
Okay.
great. It's just I have a hard time with that. But Amy's wanting one, and she deserves one. And so she there's a rescue group here, I think in town.
Okay.
And it was an 8-year-old poodle.
Aw.
Who
An 8-year-old poodle?
Yeah.
Like a standard or a mini or what?
I think it's a toy.
Oh, okay.
It's like 6 or 7 pounds.
Okay.
And it was a breeder. It had to live in the house because it knew how to hop on furniture.
Okay.
It knew how to beg.
Knows
food.
or knew? It knows how to do that.
It
stuff.
knows how to.
Okay. All right.
And also understands the word no.
Okay. Does it wear a ballerina outfit?
No, not
Okay.
yet.
All right.
But it's a really
White? Is it
really
white?
It's apricot.
Oh, okay. That's pretty.
Yep. Really nice dog. And I think Amy named her Lacey. Because they said,
What do you mean you think Amy named her Lacey?
'cause
You don't know the dog's name?
No,
How long have you had this dog?
just a day.
Really? Just a day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tuesday night. I
This is a
think.
brand new thing. This is breaking news here on WSJM. Brett has a
Our
dog.
dog was Lily, so I've got to make sure I get it right.
Okay. Okay. So what's your dog's name? Lacey.
Yeah, and they said change the name.
Where's Cagney?
We had a dog named Cagney.
Really?
Yeah.
Cagney and Lacey.
So yeah, my wife wanted to name our first dog Lacey, and it was a boy. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And Cagney and Lacey was on TV, so
Yeah.
we named it Cagney. He lived 16 years,
Okay.
and then we bought Lily.
Yeah.
Lily lived 16 years and passed away.
Wow.
Now we got
Lacey.
It's
Lacey.
a really nice dog.
You should have brought him or her.
Her.
It's a her. Okay. You should have brought her in.
Yeah, she would come. She likes riding in cars. Amy's taking her to the studio, but really a nice dog who, knows how to go out the door and.
Okay. So it's potty trained.
Yep.
Okay.
And very nice temperament.
That's great. So you got a rescue dog. It's a toy poodle
From Florida.
from Florida. Wow.
So this poor dog has
Yeah.
flew up here from Florida
Okay.
last
First
week.
class, I'm sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Neutered
Okay.
and all the other stuff in 1 week. It's gone through a lot.
Oh man.
But the dog likes sitting in our front room. That we live on Court Street, and there's always a lot of activity at the
Yeah.
county. The dog has figured that out and likes to look out the window. A lot.
Aw.
And we have a fenced-in backyard. She'll get used to that. So,
That's fantastic.
Yep. I
Good
just-
temperament yet?
Yeah, it has a great temperament. And,
Okay. Been around the kids yet?
no, it'll do fine. It follows
Okay.
Amy everywhere. So
Okay. Very nice. Got to watch that.
watch what
Dogs and kids.
Oh,
Sometimes.
yeah, no, I agree. Now this
Okay.
dog I think will be great with
Okay.
our grandson and stuff.
Does it have like a really fancy poodle cut on it?
No,
Okay.
just it looked like it just got a haircut. Probably had to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Being a rescue.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And it being from Florida, it probably knows all the current music, from South Florida.
Well,
Can
we
get
are
you up to
wondering.
speed.
Obviously, the dog's never seen snow, so that'll be
Oh
interesting in
man.
the wintertime.
Oh, that'll be great.
So, but no, it's a nice dog and very nice. And
Say it's 8 years old.
yes,
Okay.
that they do know.
That's neat.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on Lacey joining
Lacey.
your family.
Yep.
That's
She'll
fantastic.
be a nice fit. And
Congratulations, Amy, and please send us pictures of Brett curling up with the dog.
oh, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll hold it. Pat it.
7:25. A couple other things we saw in the news that we found somewhat interesting. Hawaii. You ever been to Hawaii?
No, I have not. You?
Yes. Yeah. It was a fun trip. It was a work trip. It's a good trip.
My father was there about 6 months after Pearl Harbor.
Oh, that probably would not have been a good work trip.
Never wanted to go back.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my grandparents, one of my grandfathers, he was a merchant marine,
Mm.
and he was around at that time as well in Pearl Harbor area. So,
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Okay, Hawaii became the first U.S. state to establish a climate impact fee this week, placing an additional tax on tourists to fund climate change resiliency projects and environmental stewardship within the islands. There you go.
So we're
as the country's inaugural Green Fee, Act 96, that's what it is. The Green Fee will raise the state's current transient accommodations tax, the TAT, by 0.75% for a total of 11% placed on nightly lodging rates, effective January 1, 2026. So Hawaii is an expensive place to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Hawaii is an expensive place to live. I have relatives out there, and I mean, anything you want, oh yeah, sure, we can get that for you. 6 months.
Exactly. Like Alaska.
It'll get here in a container ship. In Alaska, though, you still have by land. You can get stuff in a land or air or ship or whatever, because they do all three. You can do ship and air for Hawaii, but it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So now they're putting another fee on tourists. The fee will apply to travelers who stay in hotels, short-term vacation rentals, and for the first time ever, people on cruise ships.
Uh-oh.
Yep, cruise ships. For a nightly hotel rate of $300, the extra fee would be $2.25 a night. So, but
that adds up in a
that
hurry.
adds up in a hurry. The new fee is expected to generate $100 million annually.
And who gets that?
Hawaii, government of Hawaii.
Yeah, and
so they can.
Well, they do?
The projects that are going to be confirmed next to legislative session, but they are expected to span environmental stewardship, climate and hazard resiliency, and sustainable tourism. The one of the proponents of it said, as an island chain, Hawaii cannot wait for the next disaster to hit before taking action. We must build resiliency now, and the Green Fee will provide the necessary financing to ensure resources are available for our future. I wonder about this. I mean, what are they going to go after? Are they going to they're going to have to do one of two things. I mean, if they're talking about climate change, and if the theory is climate change warms up, ocean levels rise, you're going to have to build a dam around your islands.
A moat.
Basically, yeah. You have to build a land moat around your islands. Or if they're concerned about the wildfires, they're going to have to figure out how to adjust that, which I don't know how you do that.
Just whatever.
Anyway, so yeah. So another tourist fee going on in Hawaii.
Resilience is like the key, the go word now.
Resilience. Yeah, could be.
They wanted that for the Bobo Brazil, like a resilience center. What is that?
Well, that was the EPA grant. You're talking about the $20 million EPA grant that in part was to fund a resiliency center.
Which is what? I still don't understand it. I've had people.
Well, the money's been taken back, so we don't have to figure it out.
No, I get that. I had people like after the show were texting me like, "Yeah, what in the world's that?" Did you ever understand what?
Well, they said the resiliency center was it became almost a catch for an opportunity for the local government body to understand, okay, what do we need to be a quote unquote resilient community? Do we need more housing? Do we need more jobs? Do we need more workforce training? Do we need this, that, or the other thing? And so it was kind of a catch-all to allow some flexibility in how the local community would decide to use that money to be resilient. But I think you're right. I mean, a lot of people are throwing it out as, well, this is the new catchphrase of let's be a resilient community. Well, resilient means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
And to answer your question on all those
things.
It's
resiliency. It's 4 syllables, so that's expensive.
$5 million for every syllable?
Yes.
And to answer your question on housing, the answer is yes.
Which part?
To all of it. Do you need more of?
Oh.
I mean.
All right. So let's see. We've got a couple of things on the video live stream. Bill says good morning. And let's see. Oh, Outlaw. Yeah. Okay. Sprint cars. We'll talk about that on the break here in just a moment. It's 7:30. We've got to get our Bloomberg Market Minute in. We've got a story about Victoria's Secret. Yeah, I knew that would perk you up. So we'll talk about that in a couple of moments. We'll also have the latest world and national news from ABC.
Have you been thinking?
Drove by a park in Livonia. They were building a little sprint car track.
Oh, really?
Yeah, outdoors.
In Livonia?
Yeah. I think it was Livonia or Plymouth, wherever.
So here on the video live stream, Bill says, I'm just going to say, I'm sorry if you're a baseball fan. World of Outlaw sprint cars are far better. That's what he says. Mike Weibel says, Bret, exclamation, exclamation. And Bill says, good morning, Mike. Mike says, good morning, Bill. And it goes on like that. Racing's cool.
It is.
Racing's really cool. Although I think it was the winner of the Indy 500 this last weekend, and he had a ketchup and mustard car. You see that?
No, I didn't.
I think
see
it was.
that.
I think DHL was their sponsor.
Oh, that would make sense.
And it was bright mustard yellow and bright red ketchup.
Man, did you see that crowd at the Indy? They did the pace lap with the helicopters.
Okay.
And that crowd, it was like 300,000 people. Absolutely.
It's a big event.
Yeah, that was impressive with the I think it's the Warhawk helicopters from the Army.
Oh, the Blackhawks?
Blackhawk
helicopters.
They did the pace lap, which I thought was really cool.
All right. So to give you some numbers on it, it was sold out. It was the 109th Indy 500, the greatest spectacle in racing.
Without a doubt.
350,000 fans.
And it's really not in the app. It's not in Indianapolis. It's in Speedway, Indiana.
That's so cool. They renamed the little suburb Speedway.
I went to time trials there. That was interesting.
So back in the day, I worked in Washington, D.C. as a reporter for several state news networks. One of them was Network Indiana, and their headquarters, Network Indiana, was right basically in the parking lot of the Indianapolis 500.
Sure.
And so when I went to visit the network offices, I scored a trip around the track on a bus.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was fun.
And it's long. It's 2.5 miles.
I mean, we didn't go that fast, so it felt like forever.
Did you see they had the wiener races?
I saw that.
That was pretty funny.
I didn't know they had so many Wienermobiles, and to collect them all and have them all there at the same time.
And I think one blew out a motor or something.
Oh, no, really?
Yeah. But that was pretty fun. You know, when it was those wiener cars going around, it was so slow, you know?
Yeah.
But yet they're going 60.
Yeah, they're going 60, 70 miles an hour.
It looked like nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well, they have a 9-hole golf course, and the inside of that.
They do have a golf course around that. Yeah.
And we walked it when I was in college, and it was so big, the infield. We never even found the golf course.
I think it's on the outside of it.
No, it's on the inside.
I don't think it's on the inside.
Look it up.
All right.
I'll bet you breakfast. I bet you a blueberry muffin if that lady ever brings them back.
Indianapolis
500 golf course.
No, Indianapolis Speedway
golf course.
Okay. Brickyard Crossing. 18 holes on landscape grounds. 18 holes. You said 9.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already got you on 1.
There's the 9-hole golf course.
That's toast right there. Oh no. Uh-oh. It says it's inside the giant racetrack.
It is. It's huge.
All right, I owe you a breakfast. I thought it was well, it is outside. It's outside as well. I'm looking at a picture of it.
They have
like 1 or 2 holes inside and the rest of them are outside.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
So we're
go to Golf Week.
So we're both right?
Well, we'll just have to go to breakfast then.
I got to look it up too.
The Brickyard was once a 27-hole complex with a 9-hole course inside the track. In 1991, the complex closed.
See, I graduated in 90 from college, so I'm good.
In 1991, the complex closed when Pete Dye was called in to redesign the layout, which reduced it to 18 holes. Reopened in 93 with holes 7 through 10 located inside the tracks. See, and I didn't visit the golf course until would have been yeah, it would have been the late 90s.
Yeah, I went there in 89. They had turn 2 was the wild corner. That's where the weed was.
It's an oval
and everything else. Yeah, but they had turn
1. the golf course.
No. But inside the track, turn 1, turn 2 had
a
crowd. Turn 3 had a different crowd.
Oh, I see.
We went through turn 2. That was interesting.
Yeah, in a car.
No, just walking.
Just walking.
We sat on the infield during time trials.
All right.
You could get in for $5.
That's amazing. You can't even make a reservation for parking for $5 anymore. 7:36 is the WSJM Morning
Not
Show.
on Main Street.
Back in a
Safe
moment.
Street.
It's operating systems. Sources tell Bloomberg News that the next Apple operating systems will be identified by year rather than a version number. That means that the current iOS 18 will give way to iOS 26. The branding strategy is similar to how Samsung and Microsoft name their systems, except that Apple will use the upcoming year instead of the current one. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
And a happy, healthy Thursday to you. It's 7:30 on Thursday, arguably one of the best days of the week.
It is.
I just love Thursdays.
Do
You
you?
love Thursdays?
In the summer, I do because it's the last day to work.
Oh, because you have Fridays off.
Yeah.
When do you start that? After Memorial Day?
First full week of May.
You know, who was responsible for Red Arrow Highway before, as you're heading from Stevensville south, right before you get to the Cook plant? Who's responsible for that stretch?
From up till 94, it's the state. After 94, it becomes Bering County.
Oh,
And then it goes to the village of Stevensville,
okay,
then back to Bering County the rest of the way
okay. I'm
to
sensing
the
a.
Cook plant.
I had to drive down into Bridgman yesterday. I decided to take Red Arrow Highway, and there's that one stretch where I swear they have moguls. If it were a mogul field on a ski slope,
Mm-hmm.
your knees would be blown out. It was just
Yeah.
so bad.
Isn't that the part they're redoing?
I see no sign of that.
Okay.
Probably. I know they've been talking about it. We've been talking about it here.
Right.
But until I see the markers go up, you don't know where they're going to do it.
Yeah, the barrels will be the first indication.
Yeah.
I thought it was up for this year, but
Yeah. I'll have to go back and look at it.
yeah,
But
the village portion is pretty nice.
I have to go get some video for that.
But then when you start going south, it gets pretty beat up.
Have to go out and get some video of the mall too. I
There
noticed
you
that
go.
somebody mentioned to me the other day the Seagulls are back in force.
Surprise!
Yeah, I know. 7:38.
You know what they could do? They
What's
could
that?
make that indoor pickleball courts.
That would be interesting.
Oh.
That'd be pretty loud, pretty popular. I bet
Oh,
though.
it'd be very popular.
Yeah.
But for a while.
7:38. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Forecast for today does call for mostly cloudy skies. We should only have an isolated shower or two today, becoming partly cloudy by the afternoon. High around 68 degrees. Is that going to make it muggy outside? You think it's going to be a little bit muggy?
I think we're due for some mugginess.
Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, low around 50. Tomorrow, Friday, partly cloudy, a 20% chance of showers, increasing with the evening. But the high tomorrow should be somewhere around 75 degrees. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, mostly sunny all 4 days.
Nice.
Yeah, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, some great outdoor weather. The high is going to be around 68 degrees on Saturday, rising up to 86 degrees by the time we get to Tuesday. A little cooler by the lake, but it'll be fine.
You have to say legally. You have to say that. Don't you?
I think it's a requirement. I don't know. I haven't tested the law yet, but every now and again, you get back to St. Joe, and it's like, got to put on a sweater.
Yeah, we came back from Livonia on Memorial Day. It was 71. Then we got home. It was 58.
A little cooler by the lake.
Yep.
It's WSJM Morning Show. Latest world and national news from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The International Court of Trade blocking most of President Trump's sweeping tariffs, ruling that he overstepped his authority by invoking emergency powers, the administration moving to appeal. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announcing that the U.S. is directing embassies worldwide to pause the issuance of student visas until social media screenings of applicants can be enhanced. Elon Musk is no longer associated with the U.S. government. Here's ABC's Perry Russum.
Trump advisor Elon Musk has announced his scheduled departure from the Trump administration after leading the Department of Government Efficiency. Musk saying the DOGE mission will only strengthen over time as it becomes a way of life throughout the government. But it comes after Musk publicly criticized Trump's so-called big, beautiful spending bill for not doing enough to cut spending.
The U.S. flag has been hoisted outside the long-closed ambassador's residence in Damascus, signaling growing ties between Washington and the new government of Syria. This is ABC News.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
741 WSJM morning show continues at 8 o'clock, and we've got the latest news, world and national news from ABC, but then we'll also have local news from our WSJM newsroom. Some of the stories that we'll be covering at 8 o'clock. St. Joseph City commissioners have held their first meeting since paid parking took effect in downtown. Some changes already underway. A lot of comments from area businesses and employees about how they'd like to see some more changes, but we'll talk about what they talked about last night. That's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. A program of the Southwest Michigan Regional Chamber is in the state spotlight, getting some love yesterday from Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. So we'll talk about what that program means for our area and how it's attracting some new residents to Southwest Michigan. And also a student from Upton Middle School in St. Joseph, one of 9 Michigan students in Washington, D.C. this week, competing in the Scripps Howard Spelling Bee.
Awesome.
Should we do some more spelling words for Bret Witkowski?
Please, no.
My co-host here.
No.
Spell,
I cannot spell.
Spell cat. Spell cat. Okay. We've got more coming up. It's the WS.
I spell get, G-I-T.
in just a few moments. Also, Ford announcing a recall. More than 1 million vehicles have an issue. We'll tell you what that is. That's coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. The Michigan Supreme Court will not hear the case of the Oxford High.
New driving down there by Silver Beach.
Oh, the one-way situation. We went through that. I think it was this last weekend. I don't know. At some point we drove down there because I wanted to see the sand berm, the sand they had piled up over the sidewalk to see, because, okay, so if you're familiar with the Silver Beach area, there's the Silver Beach Park, the beach area, and then there's the roadway that goes by the carousel up to Silver Beach and the stairs and everything else. And part of the traffic congestion, I guess because of the parking situation and the pedestrians, was backing traffic up some on the busy days up into by the bandshell, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Up that hill. And so part of the solution that consultants have apparently suggested to our area policymakers is, well, you need to make it a one-way street, and you need to redirect the pedestrian traffic so that they're not continuing to cross the street and make it I don't know that they are going to accomplish that with piling sand up on that sidewalk by the fountain. I don't understand.
Looked odd.
What's that?
Looked very odd.
Well, it looks odd. It's certainly a deterrent because the sand is like 3 or 4 feet deep, right?
Yeah.
But again, I would love it for it to be my occupation to sit there and study traffic patterns, because it's like moving stuff in front of ants, and they just keep moving different directions to get to their location. They still want to get from the stairs and Silver Beach Pizza down to the beach, and they're going to take the route of least resistance.
Correct.
That's what I think. So I don't know what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
You don't think?
Mm-mm. I don't think it.
They got to get.
I'm not saying it's not going to work. I'm just saying aesthetically, it doesn't look good.
Oh, okay.
I don't like having
the berm.
Well, that, and then you go down the other side in front of Silver Beach if you're going north.
Okay.
Big barricade.
Oh, right. Yeah, Stephanie and I were talking about this, and if it works, maybe they'll make it better looking.
Right.
And make it permanent, so it's not, having these things that just change all the time.
Yeah, like on the parking meters, are they going to put garbage bags over after Labor Day? Do you have a parking meter cover company that you're trying to? Is this your? I need to buy one because New Buffalo's going to need it too.
Yeah, so I've seen. Yeah, the New Buffalo is also considering the parking thing. Mm-hmm. So we'll keep watching it.
It's interesting. I hear that
business owner that was talked to down there about it. Also, why?
Yeah.
We've worked so hard to build up the downtown. Then they're saying, why are you putting this this resistance in place?
Having a parking problem in downtowns, to me, is not necessarily a bad thing because it shows that you have success. Downtowns that don't have a parking problem, and we have numerous examples in this county, don't have much in downtowns that attract people.
I think it's a legitimate point, though. Who's doing the parking? And so to have the timed parking, I think that's important because then you don't have the employees sitting in those spots, because that's what you don't want, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
you don't want employees or the
beach
owners,
goers, supposedly
beachgoers who aren't in the businesses,
right,
who are taking up those spots that are in front of commerce.
But St. Joe's had time parking.
And so should the timed situation been adjusted, or did it need more enforcement? What was the situation? What was the issue?
Right.
Rather than going to the revenue generating solution.
Well, and part of me thinks if it really was, part of me thinks it really is about raising revenue. If that's just my own personal feeling. If that's the case, just be upfront with it.
Right.
Hey, we're a tourist town. We got all these people coming in. Why not try to get something so we can improve the downtown? Now, if that's the case, I think people can accept it a little bit better.
Right. Or have an honest debate about it.
Yeah, but then don't let that money replace what you put in the district already, because then you're not making it any better. So whatever the city's committed,
The Downtown Development Authority.
that and the city general fund.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, and the street fund, because the street fund will take care of State Street, the local
Right.
street.
Right. Right. Right.
It should make it better. It shouldn't be there to replace that money. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I keep hearing, well, we can divert money to other things. Well, then you're not really improving the area. Take what you still spend down there, and then use this money and then really improve the area.
Yeah.
Downtown does, in my opinion, State Street needs a facelift.
And it's going to get one. I mean, the Main Street is from
Main Street, but I'm
MDOT.
talking about State Street.
Oh, State Street.
Yeah, what are they going to? When's that start? Next
2027, I think. And they're finalizing the plan. There's another meeting on
I
it
saw
next
in
week.
June, yeah. And that's like all roads, it needed 10 years ago.
Yeah. Back in just a moment. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Areas of fog to start out the day will become partly sunny as the day goes on. An isolated shower still technically possible, but we won't see much of that. 68 will be our high today. We drop to 50 tonight, and we're talking 75 tomorrow. It'll be a mix of the sun and clouds with chances of rain late in the day. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg here with me. Special guest co-host appearance on a Thursday. Nice Thursday treat. Bret Witkowski and his trick dog, Lacey.
Lacey.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Your dog's name is Lacey.
Correct. Well, because we've had Lily and we had
Here,
Cat.
Fido. One of my sons recently got into the next year he'll be going to the Math and Science Center at Andrews in addition to his high school classes. So he's one of 30 kids in children in Berrien County to get this. So because he's done academically well, and so it'll help him with a lot of that STEM learning and that kind of thing. As a reward, he was allowed to get a pet rabbit.
Oh, wow.
A little bunny rabbit.
You allowed him to do that, huh?
Well, it's we'll see. It's the cutest thing ever. I think it teaches responsibility for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, the rumor mill has calmed down about what happened with his last animal, which was a fish. Which didn't last very long.
Yeah, if you can get a year or two out of a fish, you're lucky.
Yeah. But the bunny rabbit is really cute. Its name is Franklin. And
it kind of fits your family name.
And it has a mane.
Wish I had one.
It has a mane. You just need some hair.
I need some hair. Ain't that the truth?
We talked about this just a second ago. Ford Motor Company has announced a massive recall of more than 1 million vehicles. 1,075,299 vehicles affected by this recall due to an issue that may freeze the center infotainment screen or display a black screen while you're backing up. It basically messes up your backup camera.
What car?
Well, there's 1 million of them. So let me.
Thank you.
The huge number of recalled vehicles spans a large swath of both Ford and Lincoln cars, their lineups, and covers several model years. So you ready? The 2021 through 24 Bronco, the F-150, the Edge, the 2023 to 24 Escape, the Corsair, the F-250, the F-350, the F-450, the F-550. I didn't know they made an F-550. Wow. Is that like a dually or something?
That's like a monster truck.
And the F-600 trucks.
What? 600?
Yeah, they have a 600. Let's see. Also involved the 2022 to 24 Expedition, the 22 to 25 Transit, the 21 to 23 Mach-E, which is sacrilege for Mustang owners, and the Lincoln Nautilus, and the 2024 Ranger and Mustang, and the 2022 through 24 Navigator. So, I mean, basically, we're talking about the Navigator, the trucks, the Expedition, the Transits, the Mustang, the Ranger, everything out there. You're going to want to check with your dealer to find out if you're part of this. Documents associated with the recall show that Ford is aware of at least one minor crash related to the recall issue. It's got to be a bigger issue. If they're recalling
One
a million,
minor
one minor crash.
Bob hit the trash cans in the alley.
To remedy the issue, owners will be asked to bring their vehicle to a dealer to have the accessory protocol interface module, the APIM software, updated, though the update is not yet available.
What?
Yeah, so they have it's a software issue that they can fix with the software update. You're going to have to go to the dealer to get the software update, but the software update is not yet available. When it becomes available, vehicles with over-the-air update capabilities, probably available for a small subscription, will be able to get those over the air.
What year Escape did you say?
So let me go back and look at the Escapes. Blomp, blomp, blomp. Okay, so the Escape is the 23-24 Escapes.
Okay, I'm good.
Why? What year is yours? Like 2006?
Amy's is a 25.
Oh, 2025.
Yeah.
Oh, it should be okay.
Okay, good.
I think it should be okay. But check with your dealer or check the Ford website or NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, just to be sure.
I will check with Campbell Ford.
There you go.
Who is an advertiser on here where we bought it from.
Very good. Okay. Anyway, so the dealer, you'll get a notice. I'm sure you'll get a notice in the mail. But if you want to be safe, better safe than sorry for your backup camera functionality, check with Ford website. Go to NHTSA. Check with your dealer. All right, it's time for the Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And 2 members of the Berrien County Sheriff's Office Jail Division recently completed an intensive training program designed to prepare local corrections officers for the many challenges of the jobs. They didn't just pass this course, they excelled. That's what we're told.
Good for them.
That's right. And I am just going to butcher some last names here. Deputy Anthony Lardizabal and Deputy Hosanna Teal both graduated from the Corrections Academy, hosted, my apologies if I messed up your name. They both graduated from the Corrections Academy, hosted by the Genesee County Sheriff's Office. The 160-hour program, they say, is packed with hands-on training in everything from security procedures and defensive tactics to first aid, CPR, suicide prevention, and communication skills. Mm-hmm. They say it's a crucial step in preparing deputies to keep both inmates and fellow officers safe behind the walls of the county jail. You don't think about it. You think, okay, jail, you've got some bad guys in there. Fine, enough. But, I mean, there are people in there who have mental health issues. There are people in there who have physical health issues. And we charge our corrections officers with keeping people safe, both inside and outside the jail. And so getting this additional training, that's a great thing. I mean, and also tough job and the security protocols. I mean, you've really got to pay attention. Having toured the Berrien County Jail, they do have a lot of security protocols in place. Every door you go through, you got to do like either a single or a double check to get through.
Yep.
And you see some of the news stories about jail in New Orleans, jail
Cassopolis.
in Arkansas. Well, that wasn't in jail yet. They couldn't get him to jail.
Couldn't get him. He drove himself there.
He drove himself. But so anyway, so congratulations on that. If you want to read the full article, it's there posted at moodyonthemarket.com.
And I know Sheriff Bailey and Sheriff Height every day walk through that jail.
Yeah. Good.
To check it, just
see what's going on.
Yeah, and I think it's, in that position, again, it's not necessarily the name, it's the title.
Yeah.
It's good to be seen, to go through there.
And their offices are connected right to it.
Yeah, but boy, those jail guards, that is a tough job.
Yeah. Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. Back with more in just a moment. It is the WSJM Morning Show.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Okay, behind the scenes stuff. So your dog is 1 day old. That's pretty cool. I like that you got a new dog.
Yeah.
What was the final deciding factor? What made you pull the trigger?
I let Amy decide.
Oh, okay.
She's the one that will be with the dog most of the time.
I mean, what were your considerations? What did you tell Amy?
I thought it'd be nice to get a rescue dog. I really didn't want to go through the puppy stages again.
What the chewing on everything,
the potty training, and then the other part, when I retire, let's say 7 years,
right?
I really don't want to have a dog that to travel and stuff like that. So the dog's life probably will time out somewhat.
That's so dark.
No, it's not dark. I mean,
about the time that I'm done, I want the dog to be done too.
I don't want to get a dog that for 5 years. It's not fair to the dog to have to keep putting him in the kennel.
All right, we've got a comment.
I hate doing that.
We have a comment on the video live stream. Michael says 30 kiosks at 10 grand each. Keep your 300 grand. That's what the businesses are going to lose, no matter hot dogs, ice cream, Jimmy John's. Parking my car with all friends on the weekend. Thanks, Saint Joke. Ouch. Scathing.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't like that. I mean, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how this all unfolds. I think this summer will be very telling. And for those who are looking at, we're talking about the downtown parking situation. For those who are looking at it, I trust, but I think we need to verify that they're looking at the statistics, at the metrics of what is happening, and is the goal being realized? Is the objective being realized?
And I've said from day one, I think it'll do fine on weekends. But I think St. Joe downtown is different than other downtowns because it's a lot of those businesses are year round. And I think you're driving out the year round people who support it during the weekdays and who support it October, November, December, January, February, March, April. I think you're pushing them because if they change their buying habits, just like listening, right?
Right.
If they start tuning into another show, the chances of them coming back are less.
How dare they? Why would they do that?
Well, I know we take care of those people.
Okay.
And I think the same thing happens with shopping. Well, I know it does. If people get out of their shopping habits and they're like, well, I'm not going to go down there. I live downtown. Well, we live downtown. I'm not paying to park down there. I'll walk.
Yeah.
And I just, like I said, I had a person who needs handicap parking say the kiosk was halfway down the block.
Yeah. All right. Hang on 1 second. We have to get back to the program and wrap up the live stream. And I know you have to get off to work. So thanks for joining us. Thank you on the video live stream. We appreciate you.
We will wobble tomorrow.
Yeah, we will wobble.
Tomorrow.
Be here tomorrow. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Thanks again to Bret Witkowski for coming in and co-hosting.
Those Cubs.
They're trying. They're
Cubs, great season.
They're doing okay, right?
Second best record National League.
Are they leading their division?
Yeah.
Okay.
St. Louis is chasing.
So is Tigers. So are the Tigers.
Great year.
Tigers are doing the same thing.
And White Sox just don't suck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not good, but they're not like where they were.
Okay. Well, that's better. Tigers did beat the San Francisco Giants yesterday 4-3. They have the day off today. They play again tomorrow in Kansas City. They'll take on the Royals. The Cubs won their game yesterday. They beat the Rockies 2-1. We'll have more sports. We'll have more news. We'll have weather and a whole lot more. It's all coming up right here on the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A set